Thank you, Matthew. Next, from the Gun Owners of America, the President, Vice President of the Gun Owners of America, Mr. Erich Pratt.
Well, hello, fellow patriots. How are we doing this morning? It is good to be here with you all. This is a good day for liberty, isn't it? Well, I'm Erich Pratt. I'm Senior Vice President of Gun Owners of America, and it's good to be here with you today. I want to share a little bit about what GOA has been doing over the past year, although I will tell you there is so much that has already gone on just in the last month and a half. I mean, as you guys know, Gilroy, California happened. Then there was Dayton and El Paso. Then there was Beto, right? He wants to buy back our AR-15s. I'm not sure he could pass the background check. You know, gun grabbers like Beto have started a do something mantra on Capitol Hill, urging Congress to pass all kinds of gun control. So in response to all this, GOA has generated over 3 million messages from the grassroots into Capitol Hill and into the White House, and I know some of the people doing that are in this room because you've come by the booth and you've told me you've been sending in your postcards, you've been sending your emails, and I greatly appreciate that. One senior office confided to us that passing gun control would have already have been a done deal on Capitol Hill, except he said, you know what's happened is that gun owners have been so loud and have put so much pressure on legislators that it has really stalled things. So that's very good news. We're at a pretty good place right now, so I want to thank those of you who've been taking action. It's really helping. Our activists have been very loud and very active, and several offices have told us that the sentiment on Capitol Hill is that they just feel like they have to do something. So we've told them, okay, do something. Pass concealed carry reciprocity. That will do something. That will do something to save lives, won't it? And so that's been our message as we've met with congressional offices, as we've met with the White House. We've told them no gun control, repeal gun-free zones, and pass concealed carry reciprocity. It's having an impact. I was at a get-together with a lot of political types recently, and I ran into somebody from a very high-ranking office who I know, and he told me, he said, thank you so much for sending us the materials that you've been sending. They're very helpful. The constitutional arguments are good, but he said, you know what? Especially the political arguments that you've been making, showing how gun control is a political loser. That's really helping. Keep sending that to us. I'm distributing it around. And what we've been doing is we've been feeding Capitol Hill and the White House many examples showing how gun control could cost Republicans their elections. And that's resonating up there. Kelly Ayotte is an example of this. She, New Hampshire senator, she campaigned pro-gun in 2010, but then she voted for anti-gun compromises while she was in there. So gun leaders in her state started encouraging gun owners to boycott her, and it took just enough. They did. She lost by 1,000 votes in 2016. See, it doesn't take a huge revolt of the base. All it takes is a few people to say, you know what, I'm just going to sit this one out, or I'm going to vote third party, and that has dramatic electoral consequences. And that's what our polling shows. We found that 78% of gun owners consider themselves single-issue voters when it comes to the Second Amendment. And 92% of gun owners say that they would never vote to re-elect a legislator that supports universal background checks. So those are the types of messages that are really resonating on Capitol Hill. Now, in regard to universal background checks, that is registration. Even the Obama administration admitted in 2013 that the only way for universal background checks to work is to have a comprehensive gun owner registration system. And you know what? The ATF has already started on this. GOA has heard from gun dealers all around the country that in some cases they are using the compliance inspections to make wholesale copies, illegally, wholesale copies of the 4473 forms in their stores. So if you start running virtually every gun sale, private, etc., through a background check system, bingo, you've now got universal registration. Well, recently the Attorney General's been up on Capitol Hill and he's been pushing universal registration checks on Capitol Hill. So with him doing that, Gun Owners of America responded. We've ginned up the grassroots, and our activists have already hit up Republican offices with thousands upon thousands of messages in opposition to universal background checks just within the past 3 days. We've also spent quite a bit of time opposing red flag gun confiscation orders, not only at the federal level, but at the state level as well. Yeah, these need to be defeated everywhere they're introduced. In one state, this is a great story, the House Speaker had scheduled a vote on a red flag gun bill, and so we hammered him by having our grassroots members contact him, and he ended up pulling the bill from being voted on, and he told a state representative who we're very friendly with, he said, he had no idea that this bill was such a lightning rod. He thought it was a non-controversial bill. Well, I'm so glad our activists were able to change his mind on that, but non-controversial? I mean, since when is gun confiscation non-controversial? I mean, these guys need to wake up. Now, in regard to putting pressure like that on politicians, I should mention that last year, very exciting. Here at the GRPC, in fact, GOA's Texas State Director, Rachel Malone, who many of you know, was awarded the Grassroots Activist of the Year Award. And boy, has she earned it. Earlier this year when the Texas governor started considering several gun control restrictions, she hastily got a group of people together, had a press conference right outside the Capitol, and she got Stephen Williford, the hero of Sutherland Springs, Texas, to show up at the event. He came open carrying his AR-15, the very one that he used to gun down that dirtbag in that church, the guy who had killed so many people a couple years back. In fact, it still had the FBI tags on it. It was very fresh. Anyway, so far this year, it's been really good. Texas has stopped all gun control. They've passed limited constitutional carry, which takes effect during disasters. And yet another county in Texas passed a GOA-backed Second Amendment sanctuary ordinance. These are basically laws that put the state on notice that county officials will not help enforce any gun control laws. By the way, GOA has draft legislation on this, so if any of you are interested in getting your county involved, please contact us. You can just go through the contact information on our website. We can get you a draft bill on this, so we really want to get that around. Now, given that I'm almost out of time, I should mention that we're also involved in the courts as well. We're challenging the ATF bump stock ban. That case is currently in the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, and we've submitted a brief in the New York City case, which is before the Supreme Court. And you can read more about that on our website. When you're there, please sign up for our free email alerts. Those are very instrumental in putting the heat on Congress. There's action alerts there at the top of the page, so please take action. We're over 2 million members and activists strong, and it's because of folks like yourselves who are here that makes it so that we have such a loud voice in Congress. So thank you for helping us to put the heat on Washington, on Congress, on the White House, so we can defend our God-given right to self-defense. Thank you, everybody.